Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode. So, I really want to give some advice about how to deal with loss when it comes to relationships or friendships. What I'm going to say can also be applied to situations in your life, but for the most part, this is really important when it comes to relationships with people. I know that when we lose someone that we truly we're riding with, somebody who we really appreciated, we loved having around, we loved their energy, and for whatever reason things just don't work out, it can be really upsetting and really sad to move on from that person. This is true if it is just a friendship, it is true for dating relationships, for marriages, for whatever, the case may be. I feel like I've had so many friendships that I thought were going to be lifelong friendships, and they did not pan out that way. The same for relationships. I feel like every time I date with the intention of this man being in my life indefinitely. You never plan the ending of a relationship, or at least I don't. And so when things end for me, it used to be really hard for me to let go until I adopted this thinking. And that is, instead of looking at the relationship as, oh my God, I lost this person, I'm so sad, I want them back in my life, how can I fix this or whatever, instead of driving yourself crazy like that, because when someone walks out of your life or chooses to walk out of your life, you should let them. Or if someone is constantly showing you red flags or reasons that they're not good for your life, then you need to take heed and remove yourself from the situation. So instead of harping on that pain, I guess I should say, instead think of it as, well, what was the good this person brought into my life? What have I learned from having had them in my life? Because I tell you, it may not always seem that way, but there's always something to take away from someone being in your life. If you truly believe, like I do, that every encounter we have with someone is for a reason, there's something to learn, there's something to take away, and that in some capacity, that person taught us something, whether about ourselves or about other people or about the world. If you truly believe that, then it makes it a little easier to make your peace with the situation. For instance, a lot of my previous relationships, as far as boyfriends, they were extremely difficult to get over. I feel like I'm someone who sort of loves really hard and will put myself through whatever the hell just for this one person until I can no longer take the shit, which is not healthy at all. And I've learned as I've gone through things that that's not the way to do it. And so I need to be smarter about seeing red flags and knowing when to remove myself. However, when the relationship was finally over, it was often difficult for me to get through, like a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of moments of just bursting into tears and not knowing how to deal. A lot of things I would see on TV would trigger me or bring up a memory, and I would just break down. And I had to get to a point though where I was like, you know what? Okay, it's unfortunate, but things ended for a reason, right? And no matter how things may go in the future, if that person somehow comes back into my life, what I need to deal with right now is the present. And I just need to be okay now. I don't want to have this negative energy in my heart and in my soul. I want to move forward with the best possible mindset, with a clear head, so that I can make better decisions for myself, so that I can find a new path forward and do it in purpose, do it filled with love and joy for what I can now build for myself moving forward without this person. And so that's the mindset shift that I am constantly trying to have whenever I go through these losses, or even with friendships too. I can't tell you guys how many times I've had friendships that I really felt this person is going to be around. We're going to be growing old and laughing and joking and drinking tea together and whatever. And I've lost so many friendships. It really is shocking. And there are so many reasons why relationships end. There's issues on both parts. It could be communication. It could be how somebody handled a certain situation. It could be expectations not being met. But at the end of the day, instead of me being sad over no longer having this friend or wrecking my brain on how I can fix it when I've already made attempts and they just weren't welcomed, right? I just have to let it go and make my peace with it and tell myself, well, at least while that person was in my life, they taught me X, Y, and Z. So for instance, I look back on my exes and one of them taught me how to really be tidy and neat and the importance of organization and how that affects your mindset. Another one taught me how to look at the world and form my own opinion and not allow the media or other people's opinions to control what I think and believe. Another one taught me a lot about my preferred love language and how I really like words of affirmation and to be touched and things like that. And so there's always a takeaway. It's just up to you to decide to have that shift of focus. Instead of focusing on how this person hurt you, just focus on how they may have contributed something to your life that made you a little bit better. Even if this person shit on you, they treated you like fucking shit, then the takeaway from that is you now know how to not get treated like shit, right? You now know what you don't want. You're more aware of the things that you don't want. You're more aware of the red flags, right? So even if it's just that, focus on that. Don't focus on the hurt and the pain too much. Cry it out. Get through it, whatever you have to do to pick yourself up, but you don't want to stay there too long because that's not where growth happens. That's where being stagnant happens. You don't want to stay in that place for so long because then where's the progress? And the whole point of life is to just keep moving forward. We lose people in life. That's just the natural cycle of life. It's a natural progression through life to lose people. It wouldn't be life if we didn't lose, but there's lessons in that, and it's really up to you to dig deep and uncover what those little golden nuggets are, what those lessons are. And while I'm saying that, you can also think about how you impacted that person's life. I think that's the easier thing to think about is the value that we bring into someone's life. And so think about that too, but at the same time, when you think about that, don't think about it in a way that's, oh, I did this, and this for that motherfucker and now they're gone. Don't think of it like that. Think of it as I did X, Y, and Z for this person. And I know that prior to me, they'd never had anyone show them that. They've never had anyone introduce them to these things. So I know the value that I brought into their life, and I know what I have to offer for whoever is going to enter my life in the future. But now I'm smarter because they've also taught me something about myself and about my life. And I'm going to use that knowledge and that experience and apply it to the next relationship I'm going to have, the next friendship I'm going to have. So carry that with you. I hope that it helps change your thinking where it truly matters. I'm wishing you so much peace and so much love. Until next time, take care.